So today we're going to be starting out by tying a Charlie Boy Hopper by Fly Tyer Charlie Craven. We're going to start off using 2mm tan foam cut to a width of about a little less than a hook gap, and using some UTC 70 denier thread. We're just going to lay a base of thread down first. And then after laying that thread down, we're going to tie in just a little bit of scrap foam that I had left over. Reason that we tie this in is to give the body some space to glue down to, so your fly is not rotating all over the place around the hook while you're tying. So just go over that a few times with your thread to get that tied down, and then end with your thread back at the hook gap. So we had already pierced the back of the foam through the hook. Now I'm going to mark and make a little hole that will slip right over the eye of the hook, like that, and then go back over the top, and that's what we're going to glue down here. I'm just going to use some super glue. Seems to work very well. So we just need a tiny amount, not too much, as it could make your fly pretty stiff and hard to work with if you get too much super glue. So put that on there, and then go ahead and just hold it down for a few seconds. What we're really looking for is there at the bend of the hook, having that angle up of the thorax, mostly to try and keep it out of that hook gap as much as possible. And we're going to go ahead, our thread was already at the hook gap, and we're going to start off by making a segment right there by taking a couple of wraps and then moving over a quarter of the way, taking another couple wraps, moving over another little spot, making a few wraps, and then finally making the head. So you can see there we have 4 body segments, and then we're going to cut off the excess foam. As you can see with the scissors, I'm trying to cut it off even with the rest of the body. Really should probably be doing this with a razor. I couldn't find mine, so I'm just using my fly tying scissors here. I'm also going to trim a little off the sides, just so the body tapers back. Not really to a point, but there's a look at it from the top. Now we're going to tie in some rubber legs here. And what I had done is I just tied 2 together in a knot where the bend of the leg is, then put a little super glue there to hold it there. So I'm just going to put 1 on each side. These can be kind of tricky to tie down. So you can always use a little bit of super glue on where you tie those in at to keep your legs in place. So we're going to tie in the legs there, and then move back a segment, do another couple wraps to tie them in again. Make sure they're nice and centered. Then what I'm going to do is, instead of keeping both of these, I'm just going to one of them off, and then cut the front legs to about half the length of the hook. Now, for the wings, I'm just using 2 thick strands of the saltwater Flashabou. They really can catch the sun and make it nice wings. So I'm just taking 2 strands there, take a couple wraps, and cut off the excess. And finally, to finish it off, I had stacked about a pencil width of deer hair in my stacker. Take a couple loose wraps, and then you just want to pull it tight. Take another couple wraps to really bind that down. And you really want the hair to go about to the end of your hook. And I was just trimming off some of the bit of that wing that I had on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and whip finish, try not to trap too many of those deer hair. This fly is really effective in late summer after the hopper hatches. Really common to do a dropper off the back of it. And it's one of my favorite flies to fish in the summers. So here's our finished fly, Charlie Boy Hopper. And here's the fly in action on some native Yellowstone cutthroat.